All right, now we're going to send it down to Parker and Cory Sarich for tonight's Flames TV post-game show, presented by Original 16.
Original 16 gives you the chance to win one of 3 Calgary Flames fan experiences. Details in the new limited edition 15 packs of Canadian Pale Ale. Original 16, official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be of legal drinking age, no purchase necessary.
All right, welcome inside Flames Postgame Live. It's brought to you by Original 16. Brendan Parker alongside Cory Sarich once again here as the Calgary Flames wrap up a short 2-game homestand. And unfortunately for the Flames, it didn't go the way that they had anticipated nor hoped for. And tonight it's a shutout loss to the hands of the St. Louis Blues, unable to find the back of the net past Joel Hofer. And it is now 4 straight losses for the Calgary Flames. Let's talk about tonight specifically. Where did you see things, maybe the difference between winning and losing on this evening?
Well, we talked about Calgary's start the last game I was in here just on Tuesday, and the Flames got off to a great start that night.
Yep.
Tonight, the first shift, it might have been the summary for the whole game. There just was a little bit of lack of detail. They had a couple of St. Louis Blues sneak in behind them for early chances, and it just kind of seemed like all night the Calgary Flames were on their heels. They just really couldn't gain any traction, couldn't get much going offensively, and this score actually could have been a lot different if it wasn't for the play of Jacob Markstrom. He was the one bright spot in everything out there tonight, and he made some incredible saves to keep this game as close as it was.
He sure did. We'll show you those throughout the course of the night here as well. Talk a little bit about Jacob Markstrom and the work that he provided between the pipes for the Calgary Flames. Let's take a look first at how it all went down here tonight. And as Cory said, starts back in the first period. And it actually starts on the power play in terms of the scoring, and it's Kasperi Kapanen sprung on the breakaway shorthanded.
Yeah, this was not a great pass by Nazem Kadri down in his own end, which results in St. Louis going the other way. I'm sure if he had this one back, he'd choose something different, but this often happens when things are a little uptight. You sometimes don't make the decisions you need to, but St. Louis gets an opportunity, and they make no mistake here shorthanded.
So Kapanen gets his first. That was the 1-0 lead, and then in the second period they'd add to it here, and kind of working it around the offensive zone, and it's the point shot from Nick Leddy that finds its way through. Looked like it might have caught a deflection in front, but not from his own teammate. No,
it definitely hit something. This was a pretty healthy screen in front of Jacob Markstrom. He's got 2 St. Louis Blues. He's got his own teammate, and pretty tough to track the puck through that pile of bodies in front.
Yeah, and Leddy had a couple of chances later on in the evening as well. That one stands as his first of the season, 2-0 after 40 minutes of play, and then despite a couple of chances at both ends in the third period, no scoring until this, and it's Oskar Sundqvist who puts it away. He had the assist on the shorthanded goal, and then the 150-foot empty netter to seal things for the St. Louis Blues. 3-0 your final. All guys on the blue side of things finding their first of the season, Sundqvist, Leddy, and Kapanen. And, maybe just a thought quickly on their game here tonight. And, I know they've only 5 games. This is their 6th game of the season here tonight. It kind of seemed like they were pretty steady throughout in terms of, their structure defensively and what they weren't giving up here this evening.
Yeah, and they haven't scored a lot of goals this year either, so I wasn't sure what it was going to look like with tonight's 2 teams going at it. There's been a bit of a power outage on both sides. But in hearing from their coach, Craig Berube, he was happy with their game for the most part in their start to the season, except for the one game, I think, against Arizona where they ended up giving up 6 goals. But tonight's game, I didn't think St. Louis looked great early, but as soon as they capitalized on a couple of their chances and took that 2-0 lead, it allowed them to settle in. Their passes became very crisp. They had great patience moving through the neutral zone. Their captain just kind of looking at him, keying at him. He didn't do anything flashy tonight, but he just made a lot of calm plays, Braden Shen, and that helps settle your team down. I thought their defense were active. They got involved, and then Hofer, who didn't have to make a ton of great saves, he made 2 or 3 key ones at key times just to keep the Flames off the board. So it's just the St. Louis Blues kept growing and rolling with every minute that passed tonight, and you could see their confidence growing as well.
Yeah, and obviously their structure, as you said, the 2 first period goals, and then after that didn't allow much the rest of the way. Let's talk about Jacob Markstrom. You mentioned 30. I think it finishes with 32 saves here on the evening, 35 shots, and just what he has been for this team early on this season. What stands out about Jacob Markstrom in his game so far?
He's been very competitive. He's been ready to go from the starts of games. There's been less of those goals that he wants back because he's been making the majority of the saves. And again, he made some saves tonight where he got moved back and forth in his crease 2 or 3 times, making the saves. He did come up big on a breakaway here and then a rebound on Thomas. And Jacob Markstrom, he looks like he got himself prepared in the offseason, and it's showing here early in the Flame season. He just hasn't had a lot of backup, right, as far as offense.
Yep.
So he's actually reminding me a little bit, Brendan, of the Jacob Markstrom we saw his first year here. Good confidence, making lots of saves, and just kind of seems not really bothered by anything. Even though there's a couple of goals that go in early, he stays focused, and he's put together some pretty good 60-minute efforts.
For sure, and as we talked about, last night or Tuesday night with the 1 goal, and then obviously no run support here tonight, makes it difficult. But he's certainly allowing his team to stay in this for as long as possible. And you see, this pack runs pretty long, and that's because he was, met with some challenging offensive opportunities for the St. Louis Blues throughout all of it, and then finishes with 32 saves here tonight, 941 save percentage. So Jacob Markstrom looks in fine form as we get ready for the Heritage Classic coming up on Sunday as well. Just need a little bit more of that run support. How can you go about finding ways, in the offensive zone to get a few more looks, to get a few more quality looks as you're trying to generate some offense?
Well, you and I talked already tonight, Brendan. We were like, who looked like the most impactful Flames out there, and whose names came up? AJ Greer, Walker Dewar, even Nikita Zadorov on the back end, Gilbert. And why? For me, it's the guys that are investing themselves physically, getting out there, bumping, digging hard for pucks, just playing with energy. I'm not saying that the rest of the team isn't, but they're at least being physical. They're trying to be a disturbance out there and just try something different. So for me, if you're going to try to play your way out of this funk, you're going to have to get a heck of a lot grittier, and you're going to have to get in there to the dirty areas and just... You need more puck control. I think that the Flames could benefit from longer cycles. That's putting a puck in a place where you can get it back, then continuing to hang on to it. And you have to wear down other teams. If other teams aren't tired, you're not going to generate many scoring opportunities. If they're clear-headed, they're not out of breath, it's easy to defend.
Yeah, longer sustained zone time and try to create some of those turnovers, hard on pucks like that we talked about, like that shift that I think led to a Calgary chance because of some extended zone time and a couple of turnovers that you create because of the forecheck.
Yeah, and the only way you do that is getting after it.
Yeah.
Right? It's pretty plain and simple, and you need more guys doing that.
Right.
You can't have 1 or 2. It's just not effective in your team game.
Well, let's just, before we're going to hear some reaction from inside the Calgary Flames locker room here momentarily, let's take a look at, guys, if we can, the third period chances. And, you talk about, we saw it on Tuesday night, a little bit of the desperation comes up, and when you're trailing by 2 in the third, you start to see some of that ramp up in the third. And I think there was, elements and moments of it in the third period here. This is kind of the best of it, though, in terms of the chances to get back into this hockey game late.
Yeah, and again, when
Zadorov there, as you pointed out, right?
Yeah, he was up the ice a lot tonight, Zadorov. He again threw the body around, and he's trying to back up his words from the other night and have impact on this game. We got a nice look here for Nazem Kadri, and he has had and found ways to get open and get some scoring opportunities in the last few games, but he just can't seem to buy one. And not sure if that was off the pads or pants of Hofer, who was up to the task.
Yeah, for sure, and that was sharing over. But again, there's a stick in the lane, and St. Louis does a pretty good job of trying to break up that offensive opportunity. And in the end, I think it was 12 shots in the third period, and the Flames end up coming up empty when in terms of goals as well. You got to feel like, and I'm sure we heard Kadri talk about it here the last couple of days this week, that you feel like if he could just get one, maybe that kind of just lifts some of the weight of waiting for that first one, because the chances have been there. And even that save, it looked like Hofer wasn't even sure necessarily where it was coming from, but he gets a piece of it, and that's just kind of the way the luck's going too.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about Nazem Kadri, and maybe we're kind of nitpicking on him a little bit as far as the lack of offense, because he is supposed to be a key component. But there's other guys out there that are probably feeling the same way. I'm sure that Backlund, their captain, wants to get on the score sheet. I think Dubé has been stuck at 1 for quite a while now. These are guys that all want to contribute. They all want to kind of you get another one, and then maybe things start to break wide open, or if a couple guys can get one on any given night, it alleviates all that stress. And we know how it compounds in this sport, and there's always the old C word, confidence. And when that is low and things aren't going your way, it takes a little bit to get it back on track. Yeah,
well said. Let's get some reaction. We mentioned Nikita Zadorov. He had one of those chances in the third period. Let's hear from Big Z now.
Similar storyline, or do you see this as something much different?
Just want to apologize to our fans. Playing like shit right now, so it's tough to watch.
And no doubt tough to hear when you hear the boos and you hear the displeasure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing with Calgarians. I think they're pretty honest with you right away, so they'll let you know right away. And I mean, that's not what we want to hear, definitely.
Is there a sense of panic right now in that room? Like, how are you guys dealing with this?
No, there's no panic. I mean, we all grow up mandatory here, you know. It's our life, it's our job. So only one path out of it, it's together.
It has seemed, I mean, there have been games where it's been the defense. There's been games that the last sort of almost 2 games, really since Blake scored, it's been almost 120 minutes with no goals. Do you have an idea why it's been hard to sort of generate consistent pressure and goal scoring opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, play a couple of good teams, obviously. I don't think we created enough. You need to create some chances to score a goal. Their goalie played well, I thought, today. We had some looks, we didn't bury it on them. So, I mean, that was the difference, definitely. I mean, I don't think that was the start we wanted to in the first period. I don't think we played good hockey. Since then, it was pretty tough. I mean, there's a lot of guys defending Stanley Cup champions, so they know how to play with the lead. So I think that was the difference tonight.
The other day you mentioned, you brought up individual versus team play. Have you seen that change a little bit, or was it more of the same?
I mean, that's not what I brought up, individual against the team. I said we have to play as the team. I didn't call anybody out, or I didn't call anybody selfish in our team. There's 23 guys in here. They all have their heart on the table, and they all playing their nuts off. It just doesn't go our way, so I think we just got to stick to it, work hard. I think the hard work for sure is going to pay off.
Are you just sick of it not going your way?
Well, I mean, everybody's sick of losing, for sure, yeah. I don't want to lose 4 in a row, you know. It's still early in the season. We can fix that stuff, you know. I believe in this team. I think we have a really good team, really good skill players, so I think we can get out of it. Just honestly, just embarrassing in front of our fans tonight, for sure.
What's the key then to righting the ship here? What do you guys?
Well, like I said, I mean, we got to keep working. Hard work pays off. So I think we just we're gonna watch some video tomorrow. There's a big game coming up against Edmonton. It's gonna be a fun environment. So I think that's the perfect time to turn the thing around.
Is work ethic a question? Work ethic a question? Or
No.
It's hard work.
No, I mean, if you don't work hard in this league, you're going to be out of this league. I think everybody works hard, and everybody's trying here, so, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Honest assessment there from Nikita Zadorov. That's one thing we've come to know about the defenseman and just his approach on things. And, you know, I think he put it pretty bluntly about how his team's playing right now. I think honest assessment. And I don't think it's something that, you know, would come as any surprise. Guys in the locker room, probably always the first to know. It doesn't take anybody from the outside.
Yeah, you know when things aren't going well as a team. And, yeah, what he said is completely correct. This doesn't sit well with guys. It's not like guys are just going to be sitting in there brushing it off, blowing it off, and not doing anything about it. I do agree, yes, all professionals work hard, but then again, it's application. Like tonight, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a few guys out there that I just didn't see. And that might include a couple of top players, and it might include a couple of bottom players, but you have to see everybody on a nightly basis. Like, it has to be impactful. You have to be doing something. You have to be showing up defensively, offensively. You have to show up somewhere during the game. And for me, again, the word passengers, you'll use it, but there were a few tonight, and you just can't have that. That will not dig you out of this hole.
We'll go back in, hear some more reaction in just a moment, but want to touch on Elias Solovyov. And obviously it gets a little overshadowed in a loss, but pretty special night for a guy that is a 7th-round pick. And, you know, maybe when you're going through the draft process, you're not expecting 7th-rounders to play maybe as quickly even. You know, sometimes it's even at all. So for him to get into the lineup here tonight, 2020 draft pick, you heard the emotion in his voice this morning talking about telling his parents. You know, special night. What did you make of his NHL debut and the smile coming out for the solo lap?
I thought he did great. And like you alluded to, Brendan, the energy that he had this morning, like it was like a kid on Christmas Day. He was so excited to be in the locker room and be part of this process and get rewarded at the end of, you know, what kids work for throughout all your minor hockey and then as a young professional and to get a chance. So I thought he did great tonight. He kept it pretty simple. He used his body. He's a big boy, and he actually protected some pucks and had some easy exits out of the zone because of little plays that he made like that. He had a couple of huge blocks out there. Got his first 2 minutes in the penalty box. That's always important when you got to get your name on the score sheet some way, somehow. Yeah. And it was nice of the boys to kill one off for him. So hopefully they can use more of his energy. I thought it'd be even a little more infectious, just his attitude in the room this morning, but had a little conversation with him, and he was beaming year to year. And I know that I will never forget my first NHL game, and I'm sure this one's in the books for him now. Wasn't a win for him, but still great experience.
You've told me the great story about your first game and maybe avoiding the early 2 minutes that you could have had.
Yeah, the one and only penalty I was never called for. So
never got away with one ever again.
A big water skiing hook. Yeah, the guy went blowing right around me, and I think the whole crowd in Ottawa booed because the ref. It was my welcome to the league present, and then never got away with another one after that.
They had film on you after that. Well, Solovyov didn't get away with one yet tonight, so we'll see if maybe he gets away with another one down the road. Good for him. And it was listening to Dryden Hunt here this morning. He just talked about, I think he loves blocking shots. Like, he genuinely loves it. He blocks one tonight. That's kind of been his presence, his MO in the American Hockey League as well, and probably more of that to come in his NHL career. Let's go back inside the locker room and hear now from Elias Lindholm.
Elias, your reaction when you hear the fans' reaction at the end of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I understand them. You know, I would have booed too if I saw the way we played.
Why do you think the performance was what it was tonight?
No real good answer for that. You know, we talked, last couple of days about being better, but that wasn't better.
Do you think, like, what are your thoughts on how the team hasn't been able to score? How do you get to generate more offense?
Yeah, I mean, we don't get enough time in the ozone. I think, we turn the puck over a lot, and we don't spend enough time in there, and it's not a good recipe for goals.
Elias, does this come down to hard work, or is this something else that needs to kickstart things in
Well,
your direction?
it's got to start with the harder work, and then the rest will come. It's for everyone. I think obviously right now we're looking around and waiting for something good to happen. But unless we work, nothing's going to change.
Blake Coleman said after last game that he was pissed off. He's sick of losing. He's angry about it. Is that how you feel a little bit as well?
Yeah. I don't know anyone that likes losing. So, now we're played like shit 3 games in a row. So, it's gotta change pretty quick.
Is there a sense of not panic but urgency maybe in that room? What's the environment like?
No, it's still early on in the season, but it's frustrating when we talk and nothing changes.
So what has to change? Like, what's the key to making those changes then? What has to?
Well, it's got to start with harder work, and then, like I said, the rest will come. If you work hard out there, and everything will pay off, and you're gonna get those bounces and so on. So it's just got to start with some hard work, and I think the rest will come after that.
Okay, guys, we got Mackenzie Weegar next up.
Original 16 gives you the chance to win one of 3 Calgary Flames fan experiences. Details in the new limited edition 15 packs of Canadian Pale Ale Original 16. Official beer sponsor of the Calgary Flames. Must be of legal drinking age. No purchase necessary.
All right, welcome back inside Flames postgame live, brought to you by Original 16. Calgary Flames fall 3-0 at the hands of the St. Louis Blues here tonight. Back-to-back home losses, New York and now St. Louis tonight. We're going to go right back inside the Calgary Flames locker room. Heard from Nikita Zadorov and Elias Lindholm. Now here is defenseman Mackenzie Weegar.
Mackenzie, can I just ask you what your group's reaction or your personal reaction to the fans' reaction at the end of that match?
I mean, you know, it's tough. Canadian market. You know, they want the best product on the ice, and you know, right now we're not giving it to them. So, you know, as much as you hate hearing the boos, you know, it's a bit of a wake-up call for us. You know, we're not a good enough team right now.
Is the story of the game again turnover?
Yeah, I mean, I guess what you could, you know, we're just disconnected. I think, you know, in the D zone, neutral zone, offensive zone, I think, you know, we're having trouble scoring. You know, we have trouble, you know, sort of breaking the puck out at times. We have trouble in the neutral zone. You know, we're disconnected right now. But, you know, it's, you know, there's one thing, you know, that, you know, it's a privilege to play in the NHL right now. You know, I don't want anybody to forget that. I think, you know, you got 20 guys in here that know it's a tough league. You got to earn it. You got to earn to be in this room and to be out there. And, you know, I think we need to remember that. And, you know, the only way we're going to get out of this is with the group of guys, and we got to grab a hold of this now and end it.
Is work ethic something you're happy with, or how would you describe the team's overall work ethic or areas that can improve?
You know, you know, I've talked about this before, and, you know, I know that we got to compete and we got work ethic. And, you know, I think tonight, you know, it almost felt in the third period they just kind of broke our will. That's one thing that, you know, you got pride in this. You got one thing, and it's pride. And, you know, I think they broke our will tonight, and you could kind of tell in the third period that, you know, we couldn't get anything going. But, you know, you got to keep your head high in this league. You know, if you keep banging your head, you keep, you know, hanging your head, it's just going to make it worse, and things are going to spiral. You got to get back to it, and, you know, it's a new day tomorrow. You know, it's no fun answering to you guys like this. It's tough. You know, but we come back tomorrow and we work our ass off, and that's all we can do.
You used the word disconnected. How do you solve that?
You know, practice. You know, we got to have a, you know, competitive practice. You know, we got to talk it through, more video. You know, more guys speaking up if you know, there's a gray area. Things like that. We just got to get on the same page, and we will. You know, I have faith in that. I believe that. But it's a tough time right now. Yeah.
Is there a sense of not panic but worry that the season has started off on this note in that room, or?
No panic. No reason to panic right now. I think you know, it's early. You know, we got lots of time, but you know, we got to look forward to this Heritage Classic. We could rally around a big Heritage Classic here. Big win against Edmonton. I think we can go on a little roll here.
Okay, thanks, Weeks.
Thank you.
All right, there's some post-game comments from Mackenzie Weegar, and I think we're going to actually hear from head coach Ryan Huska coming up in here in just a moment, and we'll see him go into the podium and join the head coach live for some reaction as the Calgary Flames fall 3-0 here to the St. Louis Blues.
Questions for the coach?
Ryan, story of the game, turnovers again, is that where the game was lost?
No. I mean, we didn't work tonight, period. So, yeah, you can throw turnovers in that mix, but there was a lack of work ethic tonight on our part.
Does it sting a team, hurt a team to hear the boos coming from the fans at home?
I would hope it does. They deserved it. Shouldn't say they, I should say we. So, yeah, should.
Mackenzie said that the Blues kind of broke the team's will. Did you see it that way? Did you see those signs?
No, I mean, it's hard to break will first few shifts, you know, like we weren't in the third period. No, I thought that was long gone before that point in time.
Do you have any sense of why the performance was what it was?
Yeah, there was a lack of work ethic. You know, as to why there was a lack of work ethic, that one I have to spend a little time figuring that one out.
It again looked like Kadri and Huberdeau didn't have the best of games. Where do you think their game is at?
It's not just Kadri and Huberdeau. So this is a collective one. So, you know, the games we've dropped before, there's been turnovers have been a challenge for us for sure. You haven't questioned work ethic. Tonight, that's a different story. So that's not acceptable. You know, mistakes are going to happen in the game of hockey, but what cannot happen is having an effort like we saw tonight. So that's just should never happen.
Mackenzie described the team as sort of disconnected.
Yeah.
As a coach, what can you do to sort of reset things and foster those kind of connections on lines, on pairings?
Yeah, it's an everyday thing for us. So you turn the page tomorrow, and we'll have a good skate for them tomorrow. And you know, I think when you have to be of the same mindset when you play the game. So that's important, whether you're a defenseman or forward. If we're looking to quick up a puck and there's no forward there for them, then it's tough for the D-men to do that. If our D-men are going D to D and our forwards are wanting it quicker than that, they're ready to go the other direction. That's where you have to play of the same mind.
Understanding that it's not fair to lay this game at the feet of Calgary and Huberdeau. They are obviously sort of very prominent, highly paid players, and I think fans, we've heard some frustration with them. I mean, do you want more from those two?
I want more from the team. I mean, I'm not going to go with those two. I mean, if you're expecting those two guys to win games for us, that's not going to happen. We'll be waiting for that for a long period of time. The way this team will win games is when they're competitive and they skate and they play hard.
Obviously, kind of a tough environment to judge a player on his NHL debut. What do you think of Solovyov?
I liked him. He was one of our better players. If I were to rate the guys down the lineup, I thought he gave us a pretty good game for his first one.
Mackenzie also mentioned the word pride.
Yeah.
Do you think that is an important piece for everybody to kind of remember, just to play with that pride and to kind of keep you honest that way?
Well, we're talking about one night again with effort, right? So I think when you know, you don't have a good game, the expectation is that you would go home and try to figure out why. And if things that are within your control aren't where they should be, then that's on you. Work ethic is something you always control. Attitude and energy are things that you always control. So those are things that guys have to look inside to see if they were there tonight.
Mackenzie Weegar brought up that in the third period, it felt like the Blues kind of broke their will, and it seems like some of those guys in that room are a bit broken. I was just curious, what do you feel you have to do as a coach to kind of bring their spirits?
It's nothing to do with broken. We just sucked tonight. That's it. They're not broken. They just gotta get going.
Not to use the word panic, but is there a sense of like where you're concerned with where you're at right now? How are you approaching?
We're not playing good hockey right now. That's the way it is. But there is no sense of panic right now. No. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, there is the head coach, Ryan Huska. Anything stand out about what we just heard from both, from the dressing room and the podium?
Well, there's definite frustration with the players, and as far as the coach, he pretty much summed it up with his second to last comment. And the word suck was in there, and sometimes that happens. As a team, you just don't have it, and you better get ready and not do the same thing two games in a row.
And what everyone said, put in the work. I think that's been the common theme that kind of resonates through everybody, and it starts tomorrow at practice, and that's what we'll see. It'll also be what we do in terms of parking this one, and then looking ahead to the next one, because this is the last time we're going to have a chance to chat with you. Outdoor game, the Heritage Classic on Sunday. You have been involved in one in the past. I'm thinking players are probably hoping it's a little warmer. It was minus, 25? 24?
Yeah, I think it started around minus 11 to 13, and then with wind chill, it ended up being about minus 25 by the end of this game. And really neat experience. Lots of hubbub around the whole thing. There was families involved. There was the alumni had their game before, so we got the full meal deal. These guys are not going to have all those experiences. But
and you had a helper. Here's the assist of the game right here.
Look at the cross-ice sauce. It doesn't get much better than that. That is an NHL quality pass. Okay? On the score sheet, they can't take it away from me.
No, never could take it away, although we didn't remember it right away. We had to go back down memory lane on the film. But by the way, it still counts as a glorious primary assist, which is all that matters. And it was in the way of a Calgary Flames victory on home ice over the Montreal Canadiens. We counted the bounces, by the way, didn't we?
The five hopper.
5 hopper. Was it? Oh, did we go back? I think we might have found another bounce. We'll have to go back and cue that up to really confirm it, but 5 or 6. But either way, it was a primary assist, and that's all that matters.
It was a super cool experience, and like I was kind of revisiting it a little bit today. You get to play in front of 40,000 people.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen all the time. I thought the crowd did a great job of being into it, even though it was as cold as it was.
Yeah.
The whole thing was lots of fun, and I was proud of our team. We were prepared. We were ready to go out there. The conditions were tough. There were tough bounces. There was, sunlight. Then all of a sudden you're under the lights, and
heaters on the bench.
Yeah, I think we caught the old Canadians napping a little bit that night. So it was fun to get a win in front of the hometown crowd too. So now it's time for the Flames to steal one on the road.
Same thing, take an opportunity, and maybe no better time than Sunday late afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium up in Edmonton. And props, all those fans, they hung in there the whole time, because that, as cold as it was for you guys, it wouldn't have been any warmer up in the stands.
Except for the wives. They were in the red and white lounge drinking and probably forgot about the game.
Closed windows, no wind. It's a perfect spot. It's a perfect spot for -25, I'll say that. Thanks for doing it tonight, and enjoy the game from the comfort of your own home.
Thank you,
Sunday.
and good luck up there at Commonwealth.
Yeah, let's hope it's not -25. All right, thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. That'll do it for us here at the Flames TV desk. Elias Solovyov makes his NHL debut. Here plays close to 16 and a half minutes here tonight in his debut. And as we mentioned, next up, it is the Heritage Classic up to Commonwealth for a weekend of festivities at the Heritage Classic. Flames and Oilers take it outside for the Battle of Alberta. Next home game is Wednesday, November 1st, right back here at the Scotiabank Saddledome. Just a little under a week's time from now. Thanks for watching Flames Postgame Live, brought to you by Original 16. We'll see you next Wednesday back here at the Dome.